What is up, YouTube? And today we have another 7 Nights Rebirth video. You guys seem to be enjoying this game a lot, and so am I. It's very, very fun. I am starting to spend a little more on this game, which is a good and bad thing, right? It means that I'm here for the long run, but my wallet is a bit hurting. But today I just wanted to talk about something that a lot of people have been asking, like a lot, to the point where I'm getting DMs about it constantly. And it's basically which rare characters can you use for fodder. And I think this is a very important topic to talk about, because if you don't actually use your rare characters that are unused as fodder, you won't actually get super far ahead when ruby farming. I mean, you'll still get ahead, but not like super far ahead. So like, for example here, I did finally get Biscuit, by the way. This is like off of pure luck. So that kind of like pushed me over the edge to spend a bit more, because I was getting very sad I didn't have her, but that's like a separate topic. What I was trying to say is, you can see I have a lot of equipment slots unlocked, and that's mostly through ruby farming, right? And you just want to basically be unlocking as many slots as you can, because a lot of your power is going to come from your force set early game and from your main stats, right? Your sub stats don't really matter too much. Of course, you want to 6-star your characters and then dupe them when you can and +5 them. But by not unlocking a lot of your characters, you are losing so much power on them. So it's really important to know like which 4-star characters are actually able to be used as fodder and which ones aren't. And it's not that simple, because it really comes down to what legendaries you have on your account. And I'll talk about that all today for you guys in this video, so you guys can kind of get a general idea. Maybe I won't talk about every specific unit. If I did miss out on one, you can let me know in the comments down below. But just by watching this, I think you'll get a pretty general idea of what characters you will be able to fodder. So basically, the ones you don't want to fodder are going to be, first of all, Evan and Yui. These characters are going to be extremely, extremely, extremely powerful for like just pretty much most PvE content in the game. They just synergize very well with Tio, with their physical damage buffs, and also Evan is just a monster right now, even in PvP. He's really good into Tio comps, so definitely a character you don't want to fodder. Same with Yui. However, when you do get them to T12, you can start foddering them, but I'll talk about at the end of the video why you might not want to still. But basically, you know, Evan and Yui, definitely the most important ones. The other important ones are going to be things that provide immunity of some sort. And what I mean by that is a lot of the rare characters and even some legendaries have some passive ability where they will grant all allies some sort of debuff immunity. You can see, for example, Feng Yan here is like a freeze immunity character. Yui and Evan also have immunity. Evan has stun immunity, Yui has burn, which is why they're very good in Dragon. You can also see, for example, I did not mean to click her off. Where did she go? If you actually look at like other characters here, I believe Cleo here also has silence immunity, right, and stuff like that. Even this guy, Jin, also has silence immunity, right? So basically, you want to keep the ones with immunity, but not both of them. So I just showed you Jin and Cleo. They both have silence immunity, and even though one is physical and one is magic, and you're probably thinking, oh, I'll keep both because I'll use both in different comps. Kind of true, but the thing is, like, Jin is just so much better that Cleo ends up being a character you can just end up foddering, right? If I keep going, like, Ariel also has burn immunity, right? But also very good in magic comps compared to Yui. But Ariel is used a lot more than, you know, Cleo is. So she's like an option you can fodder, but you probably don't want to. So things like that, you know, the immunity characters, you just want to make sure you have an immunity for everything. Very key ones that you want are going to be Yui, Evan, Charon here for the bleed immunity for Ox King, and also Lucy for the poison immunity for Hydra and stuff like that. Good one as well as Chloe for the shock immunity, and there's also going to be, you know, other immunities as well that you're going to want to go for. But like I said, you know, there's multiple characters with immunities. If you have Feng Yan, you know, because he's just the best freeze immunity character, then Lania, which is another freeze immunity character, you can start foddering her. So I know it sounds pretty complicated, but I just wanted to tell you guys like the general gist of it. Now I'll talk about more specific ones. I can just go in a row, honestly. So Ray is a very good farmer. You can probably just end up foddering her if you already have Tio and Yunny. The thing is, you don't need Tio and Yunny. You just need basically 2 farmers for Nightmare Raid. Not Nightmare Raid. What am I saying? Nightmare farming. So because of that, you want to make sure that you have 2 farmers. If you only have Tio, then you probably want to keep her for now, but it's good to fodder her later on because she doesn't actually see usage late game really. Jin, you want to keep. He's really good in Castle Raid with the Silence immunity. This is Caddy. She's not really that used at all. You can pretty much just fodder her. Black Rose is very good for Ox King. If you need an AoE damage dealer with that Petrify immunity as well, she's really good for Ox King. The thing is, she gets replaced by Daisy, which is right here. So if you have Daisy, which you will want eventually because she's a lot better for Ox King, then you can start foddering your Black Rose. Asura is a character you're going to want to keep. She does get replaced by Biscuit in Hydra, but the thing is with Biscuit, apparently you need a ton of the weakness accuracy on her. So even if you have Biscuit, which I did recently pull, I won't be able to use her in Hydra for a bit. So because of that, Asura is something you want to keep, but once you do upgrade to Biscuit, then you can kind of get rid of her. Noho is another one that you can fodder. Chloe is something you're going to want to keep for shock immunity. Some of the tower bosses have it, and she's pretty good with this unable to recover in the blue dungeon, the power-up dungeon, because without unable to recover, you can't really ever win, and Chloe is like one of the best options to bring there. This character, I don't even know her name. Mei, yeah. Easy fodder. I mean, she does have like burn and poison and bleed all in one, so maybe she can be used in like a dot comp later on, but not really good right now. Sarah is a pretty decent Castle Rush DPS, so if you want a good Castle Rush DPS, you can keep her. There's certain comps that people use her in. I forget which tower it's in, but you use her basically to replace Ruri if you don't have Ruri. Ruri is this girl here. If you have Ruri, you use her. If not, then Sarah is the best option, so just keep that in mind. Then we have this girl, Jane. Yeah, this is also an easy fodder, not really used for anything. We talked about Yui, and now we have Sylvia. So Sylvia doesn't really do much either. Not really worth keeping, in my opinion, but some people might want to keep her because she has some AoE potential, but not something I would keep. Lucy, definitely want to keep her for Hydra, required. Victoria is also pretty much a must-have because of the paralysis immunity. So keep in mind, paralysis and shock, even though they sound similar and kind of look similar, they're different. So you want both Victoria and Chloe on your account. Charon, we talked about, you definitely want to keep. Joker is actually pretty good. I know this guy is like, kind of seems like he's useless, but he's very good in some dungeons for the most part because he has multi-hit. Where is it? So I don't know where it is, but yeah, he hits 7 times. So he does a ton of damage, not damage, but he gets rid of a lot of stacks on the light power-up dungeon. So you definitely want him because it makes killing the boss super easy. And power-up dungeons are really bottlenecked in terms of how many entries you get. So getting to a late stage is actually pretty important in the early game. So Joker is pretty important to have. Karin, a lot of people will say that she's not important, but this is my GOAT for adventure mode. If you guys don't know, then I have pretty much a cheese team involving Karin and Yui just permanently reviving everyone, where I use like one single team comp for all of adventure, and you guys can check that out. But I would say, honestly, in my opinion, once you get through adventure, you probably will never use her again, so just keep that in mind. But for me, if you're getting through adventure, she's a good option to keep. Evan is Evan, we talked about her. Juppy is going to be your DPS for Dragon, so if you don't have Shane, she's really good. If you actually do have Shane, then this is pretty much going to end up being a fodder. You won't actually need her anymore because she just gets, power crept by Shane, which I do have. So I actually do not own Jumpy because I always fodder her. Then we have Snipper. Snipper's basically the substitute for Espada, and yeah, once you get Espada and Daisy, you're going to pretty much just take out Black Rose and Snipper. It's basically the legendary comp with Daisy and Espada is the magic comp. With Black Rose and Snipper, it's going to be the physical comp, and the magic comp is just way better. So yeah, you have Soy. So Soy isn't really that good. I know some people actually use her in Castle Raid or Castle Rush in my guild. I think because she has like buff removal, right? I believe. Yeah, she has buff removal. So some of like the rooks or like the guards in like the first 2 waves have like this buff you have to dispel. So she's pretty good there, but if you have other buff removals, you don't really need it, right? So like I like have Daisy, so I don't really need it. But if you're looking for a good buff removal, then she's a decent option. Her and actually I mentioned Noho not being required, but she also has a buff removal as well. So if you really need it, you can keep them. Feng Yan I mentioned, very solid. He's the best freeze immunity character, and he also has like I think he has a defense down, which is from duping him, which is very strong. You also have Hevenia. This is going to be a castle rush character as well. Also, you're going to be able to use her in some dungeons, but I don't really think she's that good, so you can most likely fodder her. If you're unsure, you can keep her, but it's mostly because she also has that buff duration decrease, and yeah, pretty much it. Next, talking about Helenia. So this is a character that people don't really know about, but she's actually good in PvP. Actually, like, super annoying because, like, she's so tanky, like, and she also has, like, magic damage immunity and can taunt and stuff like that. So for, like, PvP tank down comps, she's actually a solid free-to-play option, but if you're not really worried about that for now, which you don't really have to be, you can just fodder her to get a head start on your account. Ariel, like I mentioned, she's going to be very good because she has burn immunity for the magic teams, and she's also going to be very solid for Castle Rush as well, so you can keep her. We have Lee. So Lee is pretty solid as like a, what's it called, adventure character, but you're not going to really use him anywhere else. I think 7K Dreamer actually used him in an adventure comp. Someone was telling me about that. So I think he might be solid as like a cheese character for adventure, but I don't actually use him that much or at all. As you can see, I don't even own him on my account. What am I saying? But I think in general, you're not going to really use him that much, to be honest. Now we have Sarah. So this is also going to be kind of a weird character you're not going to really use. She has cleanse on her kit, so if you're looking for like a niche cleanser, maybe for like later on, you can maybe keep her, but not really a character you will ever really need, in my opinion. Lania, like I mentioned, she's a solid freeze immunity character. She's just way worse than Feng Yan, because Feng Yan just does way more damage, and he also has defense breaks, so it makes him a lot better as a support. So I would just, you know, fodder her and keep Feng Yan. No, Feng Yan, come back. Okay, there we go. Cleo, this is an easy fodder because the silence immunity you're going to use instead of her, it's going to be Jin here. Bane, easy fodder, not really a good character. Yeah, he just has like a silence, which is like, it's whatever. It's annoying to fight against in adventure mode, but not really good. The Orc and Goblin duo, Hokin and also Raccoon, easy fodders. You have Yuri here until you get Pascal. She's going to be very good in Hydra, but once you do get Pascal, similar to the Shane, Jumpy, and also the Espada and Snipper situation, once you end up getting Pascal, you will stop using her, and Pascal is like a giga broken DPS, so he should be a top priority for you guys anyways. And then you have Leo. So Leo's a keep because he has death immunity. This is super strong against anything with death. So Dark Particle Dungeon and also just some of the tower stages, some of the adventure stages, he's very good. And even in some PvP, you know, shenanigans, he'll be very good as well. So yeah, I think I talked about all the rare units, right? Yeah, so basically, you know, you could fodder the ones that I said. Like I said, like, you don't have to only take my word for it. There's like a reference sheet online that you can check, or even the official Discord that you can check and, you know, see what comps people are using, and maybe you can use one or two of these into your comps. But in general, I think I covered everything pretty much. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I know I said earlier there are like some situations where, for example, if I like max dupe my Evan or Yui, which I pretty much have, you might not want to fodder extra copies of them. The only reason I said that is because you may want to build multiple ones, but that's for like Giga Whales that just want multiple builds on these characters. Some people will even do it on their legendaries as well, but like I said, not going to really pertain to like 99.99% of you watching this. So yeah, pretty much it for this video though. Thank you for watching. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.